Selamat datang kepada semua hadirin. Kita akan mulakan program ini dengan bacaan Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah.
Seterusnya, kita akan mendengarkan lagu rasmi Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia.
Let's lead the way, enlighten the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of Islam. Revelation and reason, we shall excel, we shall prevail. Merging faith and knowledge, we the Khalifa, we will fulfill the amanah. Together we make the world a better place. Forever expand the culture of Iqra. IUN is to realize the meaning of Ramadan al-Amin. Together we make the world a better place. Forever expand the culture of Iqra. IUN is to realize the meaning of mercy to all worlds for mankind.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Selamat datang saya ucapkan kepada semua hadirin yang sudi hadir meluangkan masa untuk mendengarkan forum webinar kita pada petang ini. Saya Abdul Salam Undong, pengacara majlis untuk program pada petang ini. Forum webinar kita pada hari ini bertajuk Mencari Erti Kemanusiaan, Sumbangan Alumni UIM dalam Pembangunan Kapasiti dan Pembangunan Lestari. Program ini merupakan anjuran bahagian perhubungan alumni Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia UIM Gombak dengan kerjasama Sejahtera Center for Sustainable and Humanity. Objektif webinar ini adalah untuk mendidik nilai-nilai kemanusiaan dan memberi lebih kefahaman dalam kalangan pelajar dan masyarakat Malaysia umumnya mengenai kepentingan penglibatan secara individu atau berkumpulan di dalam aktiviti kemasyarakatan. Sebelum kita memulakan program kita pada petang ini, dijemput Director Alumni Relations Division untuk memberikan ucapan kata-kata aluan. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Saudara Salam. Saudara Salam merupakan Presiden Tunas Alumni. Beliau juga merupakan seorang aktivis, aktif dalam misi kemanusiaan di Sabah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the webinar on the quest for humanity, the contribution of IAM alumni in capacity building and sustainable development. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express my appreciation to all speakers and also alumni and other participants who joined this event. So I believe that IUM alumni have great contribution to the ummah, especially with related to the contribution in capacity building and sustainable development. We truly hope that this webinar will be able to achieve its objective and lead us to a step closer in bridging the university with our humanitarian activists. Uh, of course, I would like to welcome, we are proud of our alumni and always look forward to welcome all of you back to RUM. We hope RUM will always be in your heart. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Dr. Azam, Director Alumni Relations Division atas ucapan sebentar tadi. InsyaAllah pada petang ini kita akan mendengarkan kupasan berkenaan topik yang akan dikendalikan oleh moderator dan para panelis yang cukup berpengalaman dan terbabit secara langsung dengan misi kemanusiaan di dalam atau luar negara. Tanpa kita melengahkan masa, saya perkenalkan kepada anda moderator yang akan mengendalikan forum webinar kita pada petang ini. Beliau berasal daripada Kuala Berang, Terengganu, Malaysia, merupakan graduan Ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia pada tahun 2010. Beliau berperanan sebagai Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Global Peace Mission Malaysia, turut merangkap sebagai Timbalan Presiden Bahagian Antarabangsa Community dan Perhubungan Antaragama Angkatan Belia Malaysia ABIM. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan moderator kita pada hari ini iaitu Encik Ahmad Fahmi bin Muhammad Samsudin. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih saudara Abdul Salam, moderator kita pada petang ini. Saya ucapkan terima kasih juga kepada Dr. Azam, pengarah UM Alumni Division, kerana menjemput kami hadir dalam walaupun maya kita berada dalam satu platform yang insya-Allah bermanfaat, webinar untuk kita membincangkan berkaitan dengan isu ummah. Once again, I would like on behalf of my colleague, we like to thanks to the organizing committee, especially IIUM Alumni Division, for giving us the opportunity to be part, to still continue and to contribute back to our university. And today, I think this is basically the first webinar under the theme of the Quest for Humanity. And applaud the initiative from Dr. Azam to establish communication and networking among former students of IIUM with regard to the involvement in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. So basically this is, I would say, the starting point for us to discuss, not only to share on our experience, but rather what are the best practices that we can apply and what can be the model that the student can be followed through, inshallah. So the contribution of IIUM alumni in capacity building and sustainable development, and just now we sang together the IIUM, the leading way. Basically, if you follow through the lyrics of the leading the way, the point that for me myself, when we say together IIUM to realize the meaning of the mercy of the world for all mankind. So this is also related to Rahmatul Alamin. So with me today, I'm not alone. I think we also would like to welcome all the participants to join for our webinar. I've seen also the family face, my former lecturer also, Dr. Yujasri, Dr. Suhaimi, and the rest of our friends. So inshallah, I think the discussion today, I will divide it into three phases. First, of course, we would like to introduce our panelists, and we will hear their what we call the experience while they study here, The second one will be the expectation from the point from the major theme that we are discussing today. So our panelists will elaborate further on the theme, and basically later we will open up the session for our Q&A. So perhaps you can write down the comment question for me to deliver to the panelists, or perhaps if we have time, maybe we would like to give also some space for our participant who join our webinar to speak or to share or to ask to our beloved panelists. So I would like to first introduce our panelists. First is Sister Sharifah Norizah binti Said Ahmed Kabir. She's currently the CEO for ASEAN Youth Network Resources. I think she's, if not I'm mistaken, basically we are the same age or same batch. He's currently also the board member, the honorary treasurer for Malaysian Humanitarian Movement, My Humanitarian, and the social influencer International Youth Center Kuala Lumpur, IYC. And also she is the external consultant or the individual contractor for the youth engagement in the UN Office of Drugs and Crime. So basically, she will share experience on this regard. And I think we're proud also to mention that she is also the youth speaker for the youth segment in the United Nations 75th of General Assembly to 2020. So I think we start first with Sister Sharifah, please. Maybe we can hear something from you. I mean, your experience as a student in IIUM.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank to IIUM Alumni Division for having me for this very interesting sharing session on SDG and also humanity. I'm Sharifah Norizah. Actually, I'm from the Kuliah of Human Sciences, Psychology. So I'm a psychology graduate from UIA. I graduated in 2014 after so many obstacles to finish my study because I had my study leave because of my chemotherapy, because I was a cancer survivor before. So I think I had a wonderful journey in IIUM as a student, as an entrepreneur, and also as an activist, youth activist at the same time during my study time. I think that's all for the sharing for my background. What I want to say is like I really miss IIUM actually, because it's not only because of the study environment, but I had a lot of experience in terms of unity, because in IIUM we have many backgrounds and many good friendship with other students from other countries, and I think that is where I learned about humanity at first in our university time. So maybe I can share a little bit what is my view on the topic today. That is quest of humanity. Quest of humanity. I think can I continue, Brother Syami?
No, basically just to hear something first remark from our panel. I will follow through after this, inshallah. Maybe hear our the rest of the panelists first, then we can continue with the discussion. So basically, what do you miss most in IIUM? I think currently we hear about the foods. Normally, people will share what are the new dishes available mahala, cafe, whatnot. So what do you miss most apart from humanity?
Okay, actually, when I was studying IIUM, I do a lot of like business activities actually, because I joined the entrepreneurship club. So I think that is the most thing that I miss like in IIUM, because people know me as a entrepreneur back then. So yeah, organizing things like entrepreneurship activities, and then the activities through my psychology association as well. So I think the activities, the student activities, that is the thing that I miss most.
Okay, thank you, Shita.
I didn't eat shawarma before, so in UAE, so I think I should try.
Okay, Sister Sharifah. Next, I'm going to the second panelist, Colonel Dr. Muhammad Arshin Moidin. How are you, doctor? Now you are in Johor, Cox's Bazar in Kuala Lumpur.
I am in Johor currently, so Alhamdulillah I'm fine.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Now, Colonel Dr. Muhammad Arshid is currently the public health specialist, epidemiology, and head of health informatics unit, MAHS, I think Malaysian Armed Forces Health Services. So graduated from IIUM in 2003, joined the Malaysian Army Force, I think at the end of 2004, obtained masters in public health, clinical epidemiology from University of Sydney, follow PhD in UPM in 2016. So Dr. Arshil also trained in underwater medicine Australia, diploma in family medicine, attended various military tactic courses and served in many other countries, Aceh tsunami, Western Sahara, Mauritania, East Timor, Lebanon. I think there are many of that of the his experience. Basically, we share with us today. He patent holder for 2 field water treatment system. So this is basically very interesting to hear from him also. And he also obtained many local and international awards for his work on field water treatment and health related. And recently he was the key liaison officer of Malaysian Army Forces in CPRC, Ministry of Health, and later as the Deputy Director Pusat Quarantine and Rawatan COVID-19 MIPS, UPM, where the use of innovative technologies were being employed under his purview. So that will be our second panelist. I think all of our panelists indeed today are very experienced, and maybe we can learn something from Dr. Muhammad Arshil. So what do you miss most in IIUM, Doctor?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I came from a different campus in Kuantan. So Kuliah Ahmad is Kuliah of Medicine. So my pre-medical as well as my undergraduate, just like Brother Sharizal Azwan Samsudin, was all located in Kuantan. Our only time in Kuala Lumpur was in Lembah Pantai at that time, the pre-matriculation Ta'aruf week in Lembah Pantai, that's all. After that, we went to Kuantan all the way from our pre-medical time. At that time, it was in IKIP, or Institute Kemajuan Ikhtisas Pahang. So it's in Taman Gelora, just like in front of the beach at that time. So and then followed by our Kuliah Medicine tenure for 5 years, also in Kuantan. What I miss most is that I would like to say that our journey in Kuliah Medicine UIA is very much different from other faculty of medicine, I would say, because in Kuliah Medicine UIA, they do not only teach us about medicine, but they teach us about life as well. So I must say that we owe this to all the professors. We have Prof. Tahir, Prof. Tariq, Prof. Noria, Prof. Arif, Prof. Hafiz, which are some of them are still there, and Prof. Azmi. They taught us about life, about contributing to the communities rather than to just simply practice medicine. So that is what I miss most, and I think what I have learned the most from the faculty, from the Kuliah Medicine. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Dr. Ashir. Looking forward to hear your lecture after this with your slide presentation and video in infographic. And I'm going to the panelists. Of course, both are coming from from same background, from the medicine. But at the same time, I will say that both panelists will share different perspective. Dr. Arshid just now, I think basically most of his involvement with the Malaysian Armed Forces, while we have Dr. Sharizal Azwan bin Samsudin. He's currently as a Secretary General and Board of Trustee in Malaysian Relief Agency, and also the Board of Director in Hospital Pakar Islam, Kampung Baru. Dr. Sharizal Azwan, how are you, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah.
Kaifa hal?
Bikhair, Alhamdulillah.
Dah makan Doktor? Cuti sekolah dah sunatkan berapa orang ni, Doktor?
Baru beberapa orang.
So I think Dr. Sharizal Azwan involvement is I would consider himself like myself as an activist during our time as a student. He is the first president for the Medical Student Council of IIUM in 1997 to 1999. He is also involved in SRC. So I'm also in SRC. So your position in SRC IIUM to apa dua penggal, what your position, Dr. Azwan?
Education.
Education.
Hmm.
And he's also the former ESCO members of Muslim Youth Movement of Malaysia ABIM in 2011 up until 2015. So okay, Dr. Shahriza Azwan, maybe you would like to share something, your experience in IUM before we start our discussion.
Okay, terima kasih Fahmi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To all my colleagues and friends, I believe many of you are quite familiar. Fahmi himself is together with me before in ABIM, and Brother Arshil is together with me in Kuliah of Medicine. I think Prof Arif is also around here, my teacher, my prof. Said together with me in the consortium of Said Al-Huzari,
Mercy, from Mercy.
From Mercy. For the rest of you who knows me, Alhamdulillah, Tabarakallah. Let us thank Allah for giving us the opportunity to be here and to have the sharing experience session together. I mean, we were the first group that been sent to Pahang at that time, together with another group that been sent to Terengganu, Kuala Terengganu. There's a two collaboration where UIE was with IKIP at last time, and there was also a collaboration UIE with Kuza. Now is Uniza. And I still remember the struggling, the scarcity of things when we were there. It's not complete like the current IUM main campus. It was quite scarce. Everything was everything's not enough lah. I can say, we stayed in, but Alhamdulillah, we stayed in it's not here we stay in Mahalla, where there's hostels, but that time we were staying in a single story or double story houses in Ramakota. I still remember Brother Ashir was there also last time. So the kuliah was not there. There was a kuliah near the hospital of Kuantan, not the current kuliah. So and we have to share many things. But being in a small community together, only 60 of us for the first batch, and after that coming the second batch and third batch, we are quite close. So we quite knew each other. So it's a good thing having becoming the first batch, because we know our lecturers very well. We know Prof Arif, we were quite close at that time because we were in close community. I haven't heard the song IUM song before. Actually, this is my first my first time. I don't know when the song started. I'm not sure when was it initiated. Do you know, Fahmi?
Since my student day, I think that would be among the first to be. We only heard it when we are at the convocation ceremony.
Oh yeah.
That is the very sad earlier than, because normally we don't have any opportunity to start our class or our occasion with the song, except when we hear this when we are in the convocation center in ICAC.
I was quite surprised because Colonel Arshil know about this song, because during our metric time we only learned about Asmaul Husna. Asmaul Husna. Every session is Asmaul Husna, but now there's a song. Good thing about that. And also I was the one there when Sultan of Pahang initiated officiated the opening of IUM Kuliah of Medicine. So it was a nice, great history for me also lah. Okay, that's for me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Azwan. Looking forward to hear your experience with regard to the topic. So I will start first with Sharifah Noriza. So basically, the topic that we are now discussing today is very important since IIUM also is now embarking the idea of humanizing education through Makasih Syariah and also sustainable development. And IIUM also, I think for your information, established a specific program called IIUM Sejahtera. I think Dr. Zainal, I think he's also here in the discussion. So the aspect of student development to be balanced not only within the university, but at the same time they are trying their level of best to engage with other stakeholders. Of course, I think our contribution is indeed important, and perhaps from our discussion today, there will be a resolution or strategy or any new ideas to be bring forward to the university for them to initiate. So I think your views, Sharifah, is very important for us to understand the importance of having this kind of initiative and relates to this what we call the global goals to 2030, which is a sustainable development goal. I think in fact we did that before, but we are not really sure whether we are also in line with that SDG. So what the strategy? Perhaps maybe give you maybe 10 to 15 minutes, Sharifah, to start discussion.
Okay, thank you, Brother Fahmi. Okay, as a young person, I think among three speakers, I think I'm the one who are the youngest here.
We are the same age.
Yeah.
We are the same age. No worry.
Okay, so as a young person, I always will always talk about the importance of involving and engaging young people in any stage of discussion. So what IIUM do now is very good, which is we already have set up Sejahtera Center, which can actually bring together all the organization that we have, the student organization and other organization, maybe staff organization inside UIA, to link with the SDG. It's not only at the university level actually, but young people should engage outside the university and get to know more what are the activities, what are the things that they can contribute outside the university. I think like many university students nowadays, maybe back then in my university life as well, they are not really care what are happening outside the university. So maybe they just organize things, organize activities just to get the star, maybe it's like in UIA they call it star. So just to get the merit for the curriculum, and that's it. But actually, we as a young people can do more. So we should find what are the interests. I mean, what are our interests? For example, we like to do volunteer programs. So we should find ways how to engage ourselves, how to make ourselves contribute to the ummah. Because like IIUM tagline before, we are the leaders of the ummah. This is the old song before the new song of the UIA song. So we are the leaders of the ummah. So I think it is very important for us to find ways to be the bridge between the government, between the the people in the grassroots level. So we as the young people, as the people in the university who get good education, good privilege to get many information, many capacity building, we should be the bridge between the higher level and also the people at the grassroots level. Because at the end, when we are talking about how to contribute to the community, it's all about the engagement. It's all about how to spread the love and also the peace to the community. So I think how to reach the SDG goals is all start between ourselves first. So start from ourselves, and then we engage with the community, and then we can only talk about how to change the world. Because if we just do something without purpose, so it is no meaning at all. For me, we will not reach anything. So if we think we want to contribute to the community, we should find what are their needs, And then now we have the in the guideline of the SDG goals from 1 to 17. So why is SDG 1 is about no poverty. So it is like about how people at the very lowest needs, they need to eat, they need to get basic needs. And why SDG 17 is about partnership, because without partnership we cannot reach all these goals. So my point is partnership is very important. Young people should be taken like a very important stakeholder, should be seen as a very important stakeholder in every engagement, in every level of decision making. And then we should like have more intergenerational discussion, like what we are having now, sharing session, so different views from different stakeholders. So that is how we can reach to reach the cause of humanity, to reach the people who are leaving behind.
You did mention about we playing ourselves as a bridge. At the same time, is indeed very important for us to engage with intergenerational, because the way how we have our own talk maybe perhaps different with others, right? So, in your opinion, Sharifah, where do we our stand now? I mean, Malaysia particularly, and of course, university. From your views.
In terms of, sorry.
I mean, in terms of our, I mean, practical way of doing this SDG.
I think Malaysia still being silo in many things. Like NGO doing their own thing, CSO and NGO doing their own thing, and then government they are doing their own things, and people at the local government also do their own thing. And where is youth? Where is young people? Young people always saying, okay, young people should be they should engage with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. But how about the other universities? Why don't they engage the youth? Why don't university students? They are youth actually, so they are in the definition of youth. In Malaysia, the definition of youth is from 15 to 40, but now it is reduced to 15 to 30. So I think they should know what they can play a role in this level, in all level, like from the government level, and then in their neighborhood they can play their own role, and then in university, and also to engage with more associations, NGOs and
Okay, and then your role now, Sharifah, before I can continue with other panelists, I just want to know about your role as the CEO for the Youth Asia Youth Network Resources. So what's your role now?
Okay, actually Asian Youth Network is my social enterprise company. So I am a social entrepreneur. Before this, I am a wedding planner actually, and I do event management. But now I'm doing social enterprise because I like to, because I have made experience in NGO, youth organization, and now with my humanitarian movement. So I set up my social enterprise and organized programs that related to social contribution. So that is my role now, and I think from this network that I have, it brings me to the higher decision making level, which is now I'm hired as a external consultant for the UN Crime Office for Drugs and Crime and UNODC, and this is what I get from the networking, from the engagement that I do, and I can contribute to the higher level, because I remember there is one lecturer for my methods of dakwah class. He said to us how we want to change things if we don't bring ourselves to that level. For example, I want to change something in government, so I need to engage. How do I want to engage to be in the ministerial level? So I need to show what I can do as a youth, young people, and then only our voice can be heard. It's not like we are ranting in the Facebook or social media, but then we are not doing action.
Yeah, so, thank you so much, Sharifah, maybe perhaps I would like to once again mention to the rest of the panelists as well as the participant, if you have any question and comment directly to our three panelists, please do so. You can write down the question at the chat box, and if you perhaps do you have anything, and those who are also following us through YouTube also, you can give us comment. So I would like to pass to Colonel Dr. Muhammad Arshil. I think based on your background just now, we understand your contribution not only, I mean, starting at the IIUM, but I mean globally, but now directed to the current situation here in with regard to COVID-19. You are also one of the major frontliners in dealing with COVID-19 task force. Perhaps maybe you have something to share with us.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Brother Fahmi. Okay, can you see the screen now? Yes. Okay, the way I will tackle today's session is that I will just shed some light on what the Malaysian Armed Forces is doing. I'm using two hats today, one as an IUM alumni, second as the Malaysian Armed Forces Health Services personnel. And the way I will tackle today's presentation is that I will focus on service delivery versus capacity building, because these two are, important entities of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. I know service or aid delivery is important, but many people do not realize that, capacity building is a far greater thing, and that most of us should embark on capacity building rather than just providing service delivery or aid delivery alone. And I have some of the examples from our experience. Some are purely service delivery in nature. Some are a hybrid in nature, in which we have both health capacity building as well as health service delivery. And then we have a purely health capacity building projects like the one in Afghanistan, in which I will share. So the Malaysian Armed Forces has been very active in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief worldwide. So we started off with our field hospital deployment in Flores 1992. And this has, and all the way up to Tacloban Typhoon in 2013. Our most recent deployment is in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. The mission has just ended, about 2.5 years of field hospital level 3 deployment. We have conducted more than, we have treated more than 40,000 cases, and we have done approximately 6,000 surgeries there in Cox's Bazar for the Rohingya refugees in the course of 2.5 years. This is an example of experience in the initial part of deployment mission. We engage more in service delivery. In essence, we are not a small team, but more than 30 of us mission members today, which is essentially we had to travel by plane for 1.5 hours, 1 hour, and then another hour by helicopter.
They drink water from this?
Additional 2.5 hours by road.
Salty water.
Terrible journey. In the middle of the Saharan Desert, just quickly between countries. This was in 2005 when I was still young. And if you realize,
When you're playing the video, we cannot hear your voice at the same time.
okay.
Hi, how are you? How are you? Assalamualaikum. Good, good.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Now it's okay.
All right. I have to mute the sound, by the way.
Yeah.
So I was talking about in the initial part of our mission, initial part of our deployment, we went to purely deliver services, and no capacity building or whatsoever were involved. In Saharan Desert, the video that I have played, we had to take about 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours journey just to reach a small family in the middle of Saharan Desert to provide basic medical care, very, very basic medical care, and nothing else. In Afghanistan, this was in 2011, right after September 2011, Malaysian Armed Forces was deployed to Afghanistan. I think not many of you are aware that we were there for many years, and there we purely involved in health capacity building projects. So this is the whole contingent there. So not many of us, just 40 of us, and
So
we
where are you
provided.
just now in the picture? Where are you now? I mean, in the picture just now.
If you can see in the middle, right in the middle there.
Oh, okay.
Topmost, not topmost, second layer in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The black beret.
No, the blue beret. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So in Bamiyan province is a central landlocked province, but it's very high up, about 7,000 feet above sea level. And during winter the temperature can go as low as -40. So it's the temperature can be very extreme and very cold during winter. So we work together with New Zealand Defence Force in that province, and we were co-located with the New Zealand Defence Force there. So our area operation involved 4 main districts over there. Okay, this is our daily journey in Afghanistan. So you know that the US are using Humvees with mounted cannons. The Kiwis, if you can have a look, right in front of us are using armored vehicle, and Malaysians are Superman. We use pickup trucks. All right, and we only carry small firearms for self-protection. That is the only weapon that we carry. So the mission that we conducted there is purely health capacity building. Capacity building simply means that when you go to one place and you provide aid, and then you run some programs in which when you leave that place, they are able to stand on their own. They are able to do everything, almost everything on their own. So that is the best practice actually in terms of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. So there we help to train midwife, because we have one of the highest maternal mortality rate in the world in Afghanistan. They live approximately 2.5 days away. 75% of the population live 2.5 days away from the nearest health facilities by walking. So they walk, and they have one of the highest maternal mortality rate in the world. So we train about 120 midwives so that they can be sent across all the provinces in Afghanistan and help to reduce maternal mortality. We did send our ladies doctors all the way to the remote health facilities, because in the first deployment, during the first deployment, we failed to understand the sensitivity, social sensitivity and cultural sensitivity there. So when I was working in one of the district in Punjab district, we had one postpartum hemorrhage case. The lady just delivered, and she was bleeding, and the husband just let the wife to bleed to death outside of our clinic, even though we have all the facilities to treat her, because there were no ladies doctors available in that clinic. So we failed to understand the social and cultural sensitivity in that area. So we started to deploy our ladies doctor from Malaysian Armed Forces to remote health areas to engage in these kind of cases. We did various summer camps on health to educate communities on some important health issues. Then 1 in 4 children died of waterborne diseases in Afghanistan. So we know that, just by treating them with drugs won't solve the problem. So we helped to form the first ever water quality surveillance team. We trained them, Ministry of Public Health personnel in Afghanistan, and then we provided them with all the equipment or necessary for them to test the water quality and water safety. Then testing the water is not sufficient. We help them to build water filtration systems step by step to ensure sustainability, and then we help them to treat the water, and they build the water filtration system themselves. So back from there, this is innovation that we managed to develop from our experience in Afghanistan. We realized that there is a need for a new portable, dismantleable, packable field water treatment system to help solve waterborne diseases or clean water issues globally. So we went on to run this project. The first phase involved partnership with corporate sector. Second is with the NGOs, which includes IMARET as well as Medium. Medium is our medical faculty students or medical IIUM alumni. This is Kuantan based. So we have Prof. Arif also on board, who was involved with this project. So we developed the first ever portable, dismantleable, packable, and light field water treatment system, which can be airdrop, and it's able to treat waterborne diseases all over the world. It has provided safe drinking water and safe lives in areas of Afghanistan. And also we use this during during a typhoon disaster in Tacloban. It was distributed in Cambodia and used in the poor Malay village in Cambodia. And then we developed another system which is for the community. The first system was located in Dabong, Kelantan, together with IMARET and Medium. Prof. Arif was also involved in this project, which was able to provide up to 30,000 liters a day. This is fully automated and hybrid powered system. And it's still in use in some areas in Kelantan. We use this for orang asli villages in Perak and many other areas in many parts of the world, including Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. This is the safeware system that we have installed in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, for the Rohingya refugees. In Afghanistan, I would like to share this, that in order to achieve something, you need to be strategic in your approach. So in Afghanistan, we managed to keep ourselves safe and we managed to keep all our engagements effective dengan cara kita kauti dengan mullah. So in Afghanistan, the people there are willing to die for the mullah himself than for the president. So if you do not have a good relation with mullah, then you are in trouble. So we brought along our core agama Angkatan Tentera Ustaz, and when we engage in religious manner as well as in health capacity building with the support of the mullah. So we reverse the taboo by putting in by pushing some locals to demonstrate. Blood donation campaign in Afghanistan is a taboo. No one wants to donate blood, and it is a problem in Afghan-wide. So we had to use our local staff, and we basically forced him to donate blood. I know it was a bit unconventional approach, but he finally agreed to do that, and then we line out all the villages and they watched these procedures, and finally they agreed to donate blood. We position ourselves as the main advisor in the health sectors. We provided health governance plan for 3 years. This is another example of health capacity building project. We had a very bad brucellosis outbreak. Initially, it killed 3 people and infected 670 people across Bamiyan province, but then it kills hundreds more after that, and we were approached to help control the outbreak. So we position ourselves as the leader of 19 countries and international agencies. So we were discussing about the best way to treat this. And based on the textbook solution, the people from States, New Zealand and all that, they were basically advocating for the textbook solution in which you have to test all the animals, kill the infected one, and only vaccinate the healthy one. But what happened there, we argued with them. We said in Afghanistan, if you kill the animal, they will kill you. So it is just not possible. So we end up doing mass immunization regardless of the infectivity status of the animal. And over the course of 5 years after that, we managed to control and eradicate brucellosis in Afghanistan. We did lots of reproductive health campaign, dental hygiene awareness, and then in Afghanistan, there is no dental services in the public sector. So we train dental technicians like our dental nurse in the school those days. So we use the same system. We train about 60 of them. We run combat casualty care course for the Afghan National Police and Afghan National Army so that they can treat themselves. Lots of first aid courses, and we even rescued a drowning victim during the training program. In order to be effective in our approach to deliver health promotion messages, we use the mullah. If you look at this picture, the mullah sits in front, deliver health promotion messages with our interpreters sitting right in front of them to ensure that he deliver the right messages. So we train the mullah rather than we position ourselves right in front of everyone to talk about that. They won't listen to you. Lots of clinical trainings. And then we ran the 3-year action plan to improve the health governance. We built maternity waiting home. I told you about walking 2.5 days away from the nearest health centers. So what we did was we built 3 maternity waiting homes. These maternity waiting homes were designed in such a way that they can bring the whole family and they can even bring their donkey in. It's their culture. So they will bring the donkey and all that in one compartment, and they can come about 2 weeks earlier and deliver safely in this maternity waiting home. We even constructed a combat casualty care training center for Afghanistan, and also 3 dental clinics. Installation of a lot more water filtration system in many areas, and we even install solar panel. Many people will ask what solar panel has got to do with health team. It helped to extend the services in the clinic in Afghanistan beyond the normal hours, because there are no electricities in many parts of Afghanistan. So with simple electricity supply, they can treat asthma cases and all that and prevent mortalities. That was the reason why we installed solar panel in the first place. In Lebanon, we did regular air medical evacuation for the locals as well as for the troops. And then we designed and developed a mobile rehabilitation unit for mine victims, those who are experiencing phantom limbs. This is what it looks like inside, and we deliver this mobile rehab unit to the locals for them to run this program themselves. So this was when the first time in Lebanon that we started to run health capacity building project as well on top of the health service delivery by having this kind of projects. We did lots of vector control to help control vector-borne diseases. We even developed a clinic, not only building it and equipping the clinic. We did lots and lots of regular community engagements, not only in the health sector, but also in education, and built some libraries there. Okay, this is my last slide. Okay, this is our experience in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. So in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, you have about 1.2 million refugees in an area in just about 4,000 square meters, and it's not big. That area is not big, but it is highly concentrated. If you look at this video, you can see how packed the area is, and they're living in a very dire strait and very basic amenities. They use garbage plastics as their roof, and they sleep on the mud without anything else, and they don't have work. They are not allowed to work, so they depend so much on foreign aid. I think Prof. Arif and Prof. Azmi from Kuliah Medicine did come to this hospital and visit. They have some projects in the Rohingya refugee village as well. This is our outpatient department. This is the first time ever in the Malaysian Armed Forces history that we have deployed and operated a field hospital level 3. In the entire history of Malaysian Armed Forces, we have never deployed and operated a field hospital level 3 before. So this hospital is complete with its A&E. It has an orthopedic department, obstetric and gynecology. The hospital has a complete ICU and a very advanced operating theatre. This is our surgeon doing some surgeries there. This is the DG of Health himself, Tan Sri Noh Hisham, and the president of International Surgical Society who came and performed surgeries there. We have our dental services, the only dental services in whole of refugee camp. And we have our pediatric department and a single ventilator and ICU. We have a fully functioning ICU unit, well-equipped lab, I would say, up to some basic and even some more advanced biochemical testing can be done there. This is our dispensary. And the team there is self-sustained. We have our own logistic team, which is made of our medical personnel. The same team is also acting in the preventive medicine department. You know, we install field water treatment system in the refugee village. About 6 of the system were installed. It was funded by Imarat, and we managed to deliver safe drinking water to 6 different villages in the refugee camp. With that, I thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Arshil. I think your presentation just now covering almost every region and every from Western Sahara up to Cox's Bazar. I think your experience is indeed very insightful for us as a humanitarian activist. Of not only having this kind of initiative to give assistance, but rather a community development, capacity building. You mentioned earlier about this. So, and while we're hearing your experience just now, I think we had many questions coming in, but I think we need to wait for the third panelist. I will give the floor now to Dr. Shahrizal Azwan. Similar background, I said earlier, but of course maybe different experience. Please, Dr. Shahrizal.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Can you see the screen, Fahmi?
Clearly.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Malaysian Relief Agency and also a bit of our effort for the humanitarian assistance for disaster relief, and also some of our projects with regards to service delivery, as our Colonel Arshil said, and also capacity building. I think together with us also lots of NGO around here, that local NGOs and international NGOs that also works to with the same effort, with the same objective to help not only people, local, international people, and also underprivileged and marginalized communities. A bit of MRA. MRA is a humanitarian organization. We are registered under Trustee Act 1952. Started in 2009 until now, so almost 11 years until now. We are a non-profit organization. That's why if you look at our effort, actually compared to army forces, it's not that we want to compare, but actually Malaysian Army Forces has a very huge provisions and budgets from the government. But as you know, our local NGOs like me, Mercy, even GPM, also the rest of us are actually getting our funds from the people, individuals, also corporations. We are quite lucky because some of our NGOs or organizations are funded by corporations, whereby some of us actually got tax exemption relief by the government. But if not, we actually depending on whatever amount of small donations that were given to us to strive our effort to the people. In 2014, Alhamdulillah, MRA received a special consultative status from United Nations Economic and Social Council, UN ECOSOC. And in 2007, we are accepted as an associate member of the FEMA, Federation of Islamic Medical Association. We are the second organization in Malaysia after Emirat that received this member in Malaysia. Okay. Our vision, as we know, is to be an effective and efficient humanitarian organization in delivering aids to those in need. There are a lot of people wants to give aids to send assistance, but they don't actually know how. There is actually a specific, maybe some part of us need to, being educated to become a effective and efficient humanitarian actor. And the mission of MRA is to ensure efficient aid management. This is what I was talking about, to ensure efficient management and aid management through the application of good values. Also, we also train and develop skills in various aspects of humanitarian works, including technical skills, networking, and also implementing projects, fundraising and managing. We also have lots of local international networks around the world, Alhamdulillah. And also currently MRA are focusing on local projects in the whole states. We are actually having 10 chapters all over Malaysia. So if the people ask us, why are you focusing on international, I always answered that we actually have local chapters that also having capacity to move projects within the countries. We just can prove you because of this COVID, we already sent a lot of medical aids and also some other assistance to the people of Malaysia. Our motto, Alhamdulillah, taken from Hadith Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Khairun nas anfa'ahu linnas. The best man is he who is the best to mankind. Okay, so we have projects all over the world, but some of them are not current. Okay, some of them are actually the previous projects, but I just want to mention to you that we have done many projects throughout the world, especially over the Asian area. Not to forget local, of course, some NGOs would get their funds for international projects, especially in those area that having a very bad disaster, and also in the man-made disaster area. Okay, so this is the local projects that we are offering to the Malaysian. We have project with person with disabilities. We also train volunteers. There are also Orang Asli projects, the stateless people in Sabah, urban poor and Rohingya community schools, orphan and disaster relief. If you can see how we do it, because every states or every chapters in the states, they have their specific or signature projects. Let's say in Sabah, Sabah focus on education for the Bajau people, Bajau Laut people, or Sea Gypsies we call it. And they opened up a school there. So they collaborated with University Malaysia Sabah to provide syllabus and also to provide place so that the undocumented people, especially the Bajau Laut, can receive their education. As well as Rohingya Community School, these are the marginalized communities in Malaysia. Of course, these Rohingyas are getting more in numbers in Malaysia. It is around maybe 200,000 or less than that in Malaysia. So I think the amount is increasing. So we have to do something about them, and to improve their capacity is to provide them education. There's no two ways about that. education is utmost important, even to us, even to them, to improve their livelihood. So I think we must know what's the position in the organization. Some of us are actually good at rescue people, especially in disaster. But we know MRA is not doing that because we know we don't have the capacity. We know MRA is a relief organization. So if there's, let's say, a disaster, there's a major flood, MRA is not the one who's rescuing them from the flood. We actually the one that helps when the people who've been rescued enter the we call it the temporary shelter. So these are the place where we give our utmost priority to. So they need food, they need securities, they need water, let's say medical treatment and all. So these are the major role that we are actually focusing at. And also we have a rehabilitation and also rebuilding focus, but they are actually much minor in place. Disaster risk reduction is of course is a main thing now. Before we embark on the disaster, having the disaster into our land, we have to make sure that the education to the people is being in place. Disaster risk reduction is the concept of reducing disaster risk through systemic effort, and also to analyze and reduce the causal factors of disasters. So I think many NGOs together with us, like Mercy, Imaret, and GPX, also we try to reduce the exposure of these hazards and also to lessen the vulnerability of the people and the property through lots of management, such as education and preparation, early preparation. Okay. Of course, we need to have a disaster preparedness training. All the volunteers must undergo training conducted by MRA. We have a special training modules, and these training modules were actually taken from United Nations with the permission, and also we were the one who initially trained my course through a special module. This is my course initiated by the Youth and Sport Ministry, and we taught them through our experienced trainers. This training includes technical networking, preparation of paperwork, coordination, implementation, management, fundraisings, and we actually developing what we call an elite volunteer group of volunteers. Okay, this is some of the pictures. We divided them into this training into 3 parts: the early or beginner level, the intermediate, and also the advanced level. So there are specific modules on each levels. We usually train university students, especially during Ramadan. We specifically choose Ramadan because we simulate Ramadan as panas and lapar. So they usually we try to simulate the weather in Somalia. Let's say in Somalia there's famine of people, there's no food and no drink. So we simulate Ramadan to train them throughout for this program, training disaster preparedness. Of course, there are lots of agencies involved with MRA. We actually Rakan Nadma, and also we have our consortium together with Mercy and Imaret. These are, I think you all already know how we the cycle of disaster preparedness. Okay, so we attended all the latih amal simulated by the Nadma, okay, and also I want to focus on these 5 major points regards to responding to disaster, the medical wash, food programs, education, and shelters. This all done by MRA. Medically, we have lots of medical doctors, and our MRA medical team is consists of trained volunteers with professional medical backgrounds. We have nurses, MA, and pharmacists, and they play the vital role by opening field clinics and offering medical checkups, especially during or after the disaster happens. Okay, and also we also have all the data together with us where we can provide you if you want the data, if we can have a collaboration. And also we also keep our records after we do all our medical checkups. These are some of the projects. This is in Philippines. This is Dr. Zafri. You see left upper part. Dr. Zafri is our pediatrician, graduated from UAE. I think he's the 5th batch. He's also the EXCO members of MRA. You see there are many, actually few doctors actually the EXCO members of MRA from UAE. Dr. Wahida, me, as well as Dr. Zafri. Okay, this is me in Yaman. We opened up a mobile clinic for the displaced person. If you know, Yaman has a very bad, very bad situation, especially now when the current Arab Saudi and also Emirates are attacking the Hudaidah area. So many people are shifting or moving out from their local village out to the place of safety. We need lots of help in Yaman now. Okay, a bit of story of water and sanitation. Yeah, as Dr. Arshil mentioned about water. Of course, in Yaman, we know that there's a lack of water resources, and they are improper. They are not hygienic, so very difficult to get water. So they have been a problem of getting water, and they have to walk miles and miles just to get water. So but this is very in Kelantan, just post major flood in 2014, where there's lots of wells cannot be used because of the major flood. So we do wells. Okay, and also the water treatment system, but not as good as Safeware by our brother Ashil. This is Yaman. Initially, Yaman needs a lot of. We do what we call a water trucking. This is what we call water trucking, where we get a main source of water and deliver it to many places. This is not sustainable because, you know, after sometimes we are running out of money to maintain this water truck. So each truck costs a lot of money, and this water truck will send the water, distribute the water to the stations. With this tank, big tank, we located in the displaced area. So this is not sustainable. So what we do, actually, we are targeting more sustainable projects, which we call a solar water pump of Yaman, where we get water from underground. So this, it looks simple, but it's actually can provide water to the whole village. The beneficiaries can go from 6,000 people up to 25,000, depends on cities and places. But what the good thing is, we have it is solar powered. If you can see, there's a huge solar panels that being placed on the field or the ground there. It's huge, so it can really power the big pumps. So if you can see, we also apply what we call Takdib community, or we call it CIB, community integrity building, where this community are the one who's taking care the maintenance of the project. So people, we must make sure that the people actually maintain the project, because we are not there. We did the project and most of us left the area, so we have to have a person or the community to take care. So we engage with the community leaders to ensure this takdib community integrity building is done and being reported to us every few months to ensure that the solar water pump is doing well. So we have currently installed about 10 solar water pump. Just to tell you that each solar water pump costs around 250,000 ringgit. So you have 10 is a total of 2.5 million ringgit throughout Yaman, but most probably the place which more safe. So we don't choose places where there are lots of war lah. So in the northern Yaman, most probably the safest area is Ma'arib. So and also Shabwah in between, and the southern part of Yaman is actually in the Lahaj and also Aden. So of course water we also do in some other places in Myanmar, also Somalia. We opened up lots of water pumps over there because they are always in drought. Food security is, I think, is very important. I think it is all the time needed. We have to have a sufficient, safe and nutritious type of food, which meets their dietary needs for the active and healthy life of the people. Of course, that's the best or the ideal food security that we want. But it's not easy to provide food for these people. Okay, currently they are receiving food from UN. Of course, the best is actually to make sure the food is readily available. They must make sure that it is affordable to the people. It's easily accessible. If you know, in Yaman, there are more of male-dominated communities, same with Afghanistan and Pakistan. So you must make sure that the food is also given to the women or the women, the different gender, the women communities as well. Okay, some of them, they don't have husband, so these women are the leaders of their family. Very difficult sometimes for them to go out and take their share of food. So we must make sure the accessibility is there, and of course the best is actually to have a very good quality food and also nutritious. Some of the food is actually junk, so it's not good for the people. And of course, it must be food preference. Some we actually give sardine to Rohingyas. They don't eat sardines, so we got some problem with that. So we make sure they get dals instead, chickpeas, kacang kuda, kacang dal instead. So we must know what's their diet preference if we want to give food. That includes all, even Malaysia. Okay. It's the same with this is our experience where we helped the Japanese during the Fukushima tsunami time, where we ask them what are the suitable food that they want, because we got to know that some news that Malaysian are sending 3-in-1 coffee packet. Apa tu 3-in-1? Malaysia kan famous 3-in-1. Kopi Tongkat Ali lah, apa benda. So they got the whole chunk of lots of this, and also bahulu, and this guy, they don't eat such thing. So you should ask them what are type of preference of diets that they want. So what happened was the 3-in-1 coffee tu kita bagi kat Malaysians only. So there are a lot of students in Malaysia over there at that time, so kita bagi it to them. So because the Japanese don't eat that, don't drink that. Okay, this MRA in Arakan, this in 2015. So we have the opportunity to enter Arakan after the big massacres officially during a formal proposal by us into the. So we send food have Korban, and also we have a project education and also food projects together with the people in Arakan. Education is, we told you, is important. So this is in Cox's Bazar. Shelter in Bangladesh. Okay, I think this in Indonesia post gempa bumi earthquake 2010, we built around 400 of this type of houses, shelters. This is considered semi-permanent to almost permanent shelter. Some of us usually give a smaller design of shelter, sometimes just tents. That is only temporary. So at the end we must provide them a better place to stay, okay, for them to live. So that's all from MRA. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Azwan. I think the MRA contribution is indeed very significant, not only here in Malaysia particularly, but of course worldwide. I think we also, despite of we are coming from the same kind of institution, but we are learning. We also learn from the best practices. And in fact, what Dr. Azwan mentioned earlier in his presentation about the Yemen, because Yemen is, we are considering Yemen as the most at risk of humanitarian catastrophe in 2021. Just recently, the International Rescue Committee (RSC) has warned and come up with a report. So the continued conflict, widespread of hunger, and also collapsing the international aid response. And of course, I think our contribution coming from Malaysia is indeed meaningful to the Yemenis people who are suffering now. So Alhamdulillah, I think we are now at 4 o'clock and we received many comment and contribution from the panelists, as well as many questions from the participant. So if I may start with the discussion, I will read first, the question from the participant. I think we received the question from to the panelists, I think from Madam Martinelli. Did IIUM influence you to develop the spirit of volunteerism? If so, how? Please share your experience. So maybe perhaps I will give first to Sharifah.
Is for me?
Yeah, Sharifah.
Okay. For me, I think my answer would be yes, because how I would say, it's like volunteer activities. It's volunteer. We offer ourselves, our expertise, maybe our knowledge, or maybe our skills towards something. And actually, volunteer means we don't expect anything in return. So in our student journey is a very good platform for us to build that, in university. So IIUM actually provide all those platforms through the student clubs, because we have if you're interested to give more in terms of doing charity or volunteer activities to the communities, we have Sunsurf, we have many other clubs. But it's not just that, because sometimes people thought, okay, volunteer, so their thoughts will be like, okay, going somewhere and then maybe cleaning something. It's just that. But actually, volunteer means like very broad. What you want to offer to others. So maybe your expertise, you have something, skills that maybe good to help the students who are not having chances to get education. So you go to their place and then you teach them. Because now I can see like there is group of I teach or something. I can teach or something by the IUM students. So it is a good initiative. So if students ask what they can offer in terms of volunteer activities, you just need yourself to explore those opportunities inside the university in IIUM. If you don't see any, it is your problem. It is you who don't want to explore those opportunities.
Yeah, I think we need also to take and seize the moment why we are student, and this is the best way to learn something. Perhaps Dr. Shahrizal Azwan, you want to add some more on this question from Madam or Ibu Maternally?
Yeah, my experience as a first batch is always the first lah. We were the one who started the Medical Students Council, and we were the one who started the what I mean the context of the first batch of medical UN. We were the one who make projects, humanitarian projects in. I think the first one that I actually lead is the project with Kampung Orang Asli, Kampung Gumum in Pekan. So we had a chance to go there and make a clinic over there, head by together with Prof Tahir and the team. So it was very good experience. Very good experience. And at that time we had one big flood, major flood in Pahang. I can't remember. I think it was during our 4th year or during 3rd year. I can't remember. But it's very big, a very major flood where the whole Kuantan is almost tenggelam lah. So I think all the classes was cancelled, and we were the one who helped to clean all the houses. So I think IUM has been a very good starter for us to lead our life in humanitarian aspect. And also we have also lots of international students. We intermingle with them. So we know their plights. Some of them are from Yemen, some of them from Bangladesh. We intermingle with them and we know what's happening around us. I think that's also part of give us the spark to know about other people's plight. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Arshil?
Yes, the answer is yes. Through formal or informal means. Formal means is through our community health postings, as well as our student council engagements, in which volunteerism culture were being inculcated, and we had some engagements in underprivileged communities in remote areas, and this is part of the curriculum. Through an informal means, we learn a lot from our lecturers. I give one example. I think Prof. Arif is one of our participants here. When I was in 4th year, he discussed with us about the possibility of developing a dialysis unit for underprivileged communities, which is fully funded by his NGOs. And fast forward to today, it is one of the most successful NGOs in terms of providing this type of services. So at that time, dialysis services was scarce, and access to government dialysis will involve a huge waiting list. And yes, so through an informal means, we learn about all this from our former lecturers. And mind you, Prof. Arif also and Prof. Hazmi, they have lots of other humanitarian projects as well, including mobile musola kind of thing. And they have opened up our way of thinking with regards to this, and has developed a culture or humanitarian assistant culture within us. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think all panelists cover the important issue on how to build up the spirit of volunteerism. So I proceed to the next question. I think from Professor Susaimi. I think the question directed to all the panelists: do you have any master plan and action plan to drive and lead Sejahtera to the world through our various leaders of the community? So perhaps Dr. Azwan, if you want to start first.
Tak dapat soalan tadi. Apa ni soalan ni?
Do you have a master plan or plan of action
For the?
To drive and lead Sejahtera to the world through our various leaders of the community? So basically how perhaps maybe our leaders from NGOs who like to assist or engage with Sejahtera. Sejahtera is the center, the new center that we explained just now.
I think the question is directed to the university. If you get,
Yeah.
you know, I might be wrong. I think it is directed to the university with regards to the utilization of alumni platform.
So how we can assist Sejahtera?
Yeah.
Dr. Asir, kalau nak start dulu boleh?
If that is the case, I would say that you need a more widespread involvement of all alumni from different backgrounds, different platforms, and you know, we are not alien to a one or whole of society approach. I take COVID-19 response for example. We are already practicing it. It is impossible for the government alone to act against COVID-19. We have community leaders, we have NGOs, we have private sectors, you know, being involved in the fight against COVID-19. So alumni can use this platform. I think the question is directed towards that, you know, to propagate this agenda into a more, I would say, sustainable practice among our alumni. We need to start engaging all the sectors involved. I am in the military, for example. We have lots of alumni in the NGOs. We are maybe some in government sectors and all that. And it should be done officially through the Office of Alumni Division to come up with some programs in which we can work together from various agencies, be it in the public or NGOs or private sectors, with one goal of providing for humanity. Thank you.
Okay, Sister Sharifah, if you want to add something on this.
Okay, sorry. Maybe I share. Okay. I think I will agree with Dr. Arshil because to get the alumni to collaborate and also plan something together with Sejahtera Center, because I think it is time to gather our young professionals or our alumni in many sectors to share ideas, share best practices, because this is the time to share best practices actually. Maybe what we do, what MRA do are different with what Dr. Arshil's organization do, and then maybe the other organization like GPM from Madhya Pradesh for me also have other things. So I think it is time to gather back the alumni and have this kind of sharing session, and then later on you will know what SDG, what goals that can bring together our young professionals and also our alumni.
Yeah, I think it is also related to SDG partnership goals, number 17, right?
Yes.
So we need to have a strong, not locally but global partnership and cooperation. I think we need also to get our alumni who are now spreading out other continents, countries. So Dr. Shariza Azwan.
Yeah, I think we have many alumni who are currently in corporates, who are currently in NGOs, and who are currently in academia level. So I think we need to strengthen the networks, and also I agree with the master plan. We must have a plan. Yeah, recently I think we met Puan Martinelli, Ibu Martinelli, and we discussed what can we do. What can we do at the next level to move move forward on this issue. So we at least must have a simple level as a MOU together with UIA, and then after that we can have a next plan of discussing and doing the networking. So I think the platform of corporates, the corporate leaders of UIA alumni, the corporate leaders, the NGO leaders, and also the academic professors must sit together and discuss this.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think we need also to address the concern coming from Madam Sabaria. She did ask on how to actually encourage the academic staff or those who would like to join this initiative with other NGOs or personal or the collaborator in order to sustain the team. So she asked this because of she need to know and know how to explain to the colleague and friends who are going to involve in this capacity building But at the same time, we did touch on the collaboration. So what are the challenges that we need to face on this situation? So perhaps Dr. Arshid, would you like to start first?
This is a good question. As I have rightly pointed out, during our course in Kuliah Medicine, some of the engagements are being done officially, I would say, as part of the curriculum. I believe to be able to sustain this initiative, to allow everyone, to allow this humanitarian program involving students to be a sustainable one, it must be both incorporated as part of the official, I would say, curriculum, in which they are being awarded some credits for that. And at the same time, we have some unofficial engagement in which certain support or certain provisions can be given to the students as a reward for them. For example, if we have some people in corporate sectors and they are running some humanitarian programs and it involves the students running the programs, and at the same time they receive some other, I would say, not feedback, some other initiative or some other incentive from these corporate sectors with regards to their studies, study grants, for example, or stuff like that. It can be done. I understand the question comes from frustration, some of the frustrations of the students, who got involved in these programs. You can come up with programs that getting people to run it continuously and to support it continuously is a problem unless you have some incentive. So an incentive base is not wrong after all. It is important to get something to kickstart in the early phase. Then when you fall in love with this humanitarian work, you will do it voluntarily. I believe in that.
Okay, this to have something to start off, to kick off. Okay, Sharifah, you want to add something on this?
I mean, I'm interested in the for the point that it should be credited as a subject. Maybe, for example, we need to have like SDG planning course, maybe to be inside the curriculum activities. There is because I think previously we have like event management skill and everything. So I think we should have that kind of skill that maybe can be useful for the students to have that skill, and then later on they can be the one who manage the structure mission. Because I think I saw something like they open for volunteers for Sejahtera, but I don't think that people want to engage like for long term for that unless there is like we acknowledge their expertise. For example, they are into SDG 1, so they have that good background, good community engagement in SDG 1, and then they become someone who expert to teach their other friends and the other students who are coming in the program. So I think that is one way to make that thing sustainable for long term. And other thing we can also like attract NGOs who can be partners for Sejahtera for following the SDG goals. So it's easy for us to identify later on.
Dr. Sharizal, you want to add something on this?
Yeah, involving in volunteerism is not anybody cup of tea lah. I think not. Some of them we would rather for them to go, as a credit wajib, to attend the this type of volunteering work. But not many of them will sustain. So I think, but what I see is IIUM has been very active, producing lots of NGO leaders. I've seen many people actively from IUM actively involved in Orang Asli projects, in local international projects, including you, Fahmi, and also we have Syed, we have so many people. There is actually, I think the track is there, the right track is there, pushed by our lecturers and all. I think we might need some extra push there. just some extra push, because they are already there. We have to get them on the right track. At least for those who are really interested, they have the capacity, to join the projects or any programs done by IUM, so that later on they know what's the next path. I think that's my answer.
Yeah, I concur with you, Dr. Azwan. But at the same time, I think we need to make use of our presence in IIUM with our surrounding, our fellow students who are coming from different region, different countries. So by way of having them who are here, I think it's good investment for us, because right now, of course, we know them for the past 4 years. While we are studying, but I believe, and if not all, I think most of the students coming from IUM, they will the leader of which their respective countries. So easier for us to engage with things, since we involved in this kind of activities when we are traveling abroad. I think it's easier for us to find our brothers, our sister who are coming at the same, with the same university. They will assist us whatever we need to achieve our mission and vision. Alhamdulillah. So I think we also received comment, and I think I would say appreciation from, I think, Professor Arif here. He did mention on the involvement of the student. Proud to see them talking in humanitarian mission and capacity. I think he's referring to Dr. Azwan just now, Kampung Gumum Tasik Chini. And I think Prof. Arif also mentioned that we all believe that students are future leaders, and we are the teachers. Of course, we like to extend our gratitude and thanks to the lecturers who are committed to inspire and be the role model to hikmatul syuyukh di hamasati syabab. So syuyukh, those we consider as full of wisdom. At the same time, we are the young generation, there's a spirit. So this kind of interaction, I think, is very timely and good, and to be the role model to our future leaders, Sejahtera Center in the right direction. And Professor Arif also did mention on the dialysis center, Pusat Dialisis Yayasan Pusat Hemodialisis Islam Makmur. So we are looking forward to have several more franchisees, so we can have called Usahawan Dialysis. Okay, I think the question from others is basically on technical issue. I think earlier Dr. Arshid did mention on, if anything, if the participant would like to ask more, to engage more with the panelists, you can do so. The panelists can write down your emails or your contact numbers. Perhaps our participant would like to have a follow-up question or engagement. So we have come to the end of the discussion. So I believe we have still 5 minutes before we end our discussion. I would like now to give some space to our panelists for them to give a closing remarks. So I'll start with Dr. Arshil.
Yeah, I would like to use this opportunity to answer one of the questions by Madam Sabaria. She was asking about whether there is any limitation for us to have engagement with collaborators, and is there a need for IIUM students to be from start till the end of any capacity building project. So my advice is that the best way to engage is of course you need to know who are your partners, and many partners are self-sustained in a way that they can operate without you. I take few NGOs, for example. MRA is self-sustained in a way. Mercy Malaysia is. We have Imaret. We have Global Peace. Many other reputable NGOs which are self-sustained. If you have this type of collaborators, then you should not be worried of where do you come in, because any help to them is a good help anyway, and you can come in any stage. They usually welcome it. So it's not a problem at all. You don't have to be from the beginning till the end. I think Madam Sabaria is worried about being involved from the beginning till the end, and they probably don't have the time for that. So, and also an MOU, a simple MOU prior to any engagement will help to basically outline and basically outline all the scope of engagements. That's all. I would like to thank everyone for the opportunities given for me to present the alumni, and thank you very much to the director of alumni division, Dr. Azam, Dr. Fahmi, the Azwan and Dr. Sharifah, and all the participants here today. Thank you very much.
Sharifah?
Okay, I think my last word would be some advices to the students, to the current students who are still finding their path maybe in the university life. My advice is explore your potential, explore and get more networking while in your study times, because this networking that you do in your university life is very, 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 very useful when you are graduated. And this is when you will learn how to be resilient, how to be, function community. Useful person to others. And I think what I want to say is network is the new currency. And please remember our role as da'i. So when there is problem, there must be a solution. So it is our role, it is our responsibility to be the one who solve that problems in this term.
Thank you, Dr. Sharifah. Dr. Sharizal Azwan?
Okay, but last but not least is actually we need to strengthen, as I told you, as I said, the collaboration between the NGO, the corporations, the NGO, the corporates, and also with academia. I think we need some balance there, and also to make sure the vision of and mission of these three structures need to be strengthened. And secondly is, I think the students are already there. They some of them are really love in humanitarian works. We just need to have a right push, just provide them the path, the right track, so then they can move smoothly towards the quest of humanitarian. And last but not least, be effective and efficient humanitarian organization. If you want to involve with, especially the students, is my advice. And to do that, you have to learn and get lots of experience from the senior people, especially in those who are very actively involved in humanitarian organization. I think that's all.
Thank you so much to all the three panelists, Colonel Dr. Muhammad Arshil, Dr. Sharizal Azwan, as well as Dr. Sharifah. Dr. Sharifah Nurizah, and all of you are following our discussion today. I would like once again to thanks to IUM alumni. So perhaps I think this not the first and last discussion. We do have many other fellow brothers, sisters who are involved actively in humanitarian activities. There will be a second, third, and fourth discussion. And prior to our discussion earlier with Director of IUM Alumni Division, Dr. Azam, did mention that there are certain initiative or many other approach and step, inshallah, to be taken soon when we can have the opportunity to meet up, all of us, in proper channel, inshallah. And the idea of having books, the contribution coming from all IIM alumni to share their thoughts and experience, and many others, inshallah. So with that, I thank you. Sorry for any shortcoming. So I hope that all of you enjoy the discussion, and we do take some initiative, but what the best thing that we can proceed with our next destination. So I handing back to Brother